Hey guys, Brady Snow back again with another episode. Are you a content creator that's trying to get started? Well, today we're gonna have Billy the cameraman come on up and give you a tutorial on how to get started with your video gear. We're gonna cover basics, we're gonna cover setup, we're gonna cover basic shots, we're gonna cover run and gun filmmaking on the go, because we're on a road trip here, we don't have time to stop for long and set up. So I'm gonna bring Billy out and he's gonna give you a tutorial of how to get started with your camera gear and start creating awesome content. Thank you, I'll be back. All right, thanks Brady. Finally get an opportunity to shine here. You've been holding down the spotlight, but you've been doing a good job. So, you guys, the tripod. This is the Peak tripod, trépied, something like that in French. Packs down like that small, 2.5 pounds or so, something like that. Super light for run and gun, or if you're gonna go climb a mountain, be a great place to use something like this. Look how tall it can get. We're gonna get our camera on there now. Clips right in. Take the strap off me right there. And so there we go. We got our Sony A7S III camera with the Sigma 24 to 70 millimeter lens on it. DGDN, I don't know if you need those. We have links to all that gear that we use below if you want to pick it up from those links. It gives us a little bit of a donation just for recommending the product to you. And but yeah, this is what we recommend as a pretty low, good entry point lens. I believe this thing was still $2,000. But the good thing about it is it's going to cover a lot of range. You get 24 millimeters to 70 millimeters, so that's a wide angle lens, all the way up to 70 millimeters. You can stop anywhere in between. Yeah, versatile lens. It goes down to 2.8 aperture, so that the aperture, that's how much light you let in. That's the opening, kind of like the iris of your eye. If it's narrower, smaller, it's letting in less light. That's good for bright situations. And if it's further open, you're gonna let in a lot more light, but you're gonna have a more shallow depth of field, so your background will be blurry. I believe we are at 3.5 on that one, but should have this stuff in focus. We also have the autofocus on that one because Brady's not the best cameraman. So we're trying to give you some more detailed info that you can use to start creating your own content. And you don't need to be a top-notch filmmaker. You don't have to have this super expensive gear. As I'm saying, most of our YouTube channels that you've seen so far have been shot on a camera that is 10 years old. That's the Sony FS100 right there. Brady used it in the Crested Butte Film Tribe back when he produced short films. He did a lot of the acting in it, but he'd script the screenplays, and he did some of the filming too and stuff. And fun camera, you learn a lot. But anyway, that's a 10-year-old camera giving you a demo of this newer camera that we are shooting on. So, real quick, I have this little wireless Go microphone on me. It's clipped onto me right here too. That's just to pick up the audio. And yeah, if we were doing some run and gunning and we wanted to capture sounds of the environment, we'd be using our other Rode mic, the shotgun mic that mounts to the top. But right now, it's just me talking, and we got a shotgun mic from this other camera capturing the ambient sound here. But anyway, the tripod. Yeah, lightweight, versatile, that's great. The one problem is, the one issue you might run into is it is not a fluid head tripod like this fluid head tripod right here. The fluid head allows you to have real smooth pans and tilts, and this one, it's a lot harder. I'm gonna have to get used to it. Let me just demo it for you. Yeah, so the tilt and pan on the tripod, it's not a fluid head, it's a ball joint. So this is what it looks like. I'm also a beginner, keep in mind. You gotta get our level right. Okay, and then you can loosen this ring right there. I'm panning, I'm keeping it even on the horizon. It's not as fluid as a fluid head, it's the name. But I'm gonna do a tilt for you there. I'm sure I'm a little jittery, and a lot of this comes down to your stance. So if you plant your stance correctly, that's gonna turn out pretty good. It's gonna be better. Obviously I'm on a tripod. So that is the tilt issue, that's the ball joint. It works for if you gotta cover a lot of ground. If you want a lightweight tripod, this is the way to go. It runs you about 800 bucks. We have links to it below in the description as well. I do recommend it if you're getting into any kind of outdoor videography, which reminds me, the reason we are here today is because we wanted to practice shooting outside. When we shoot inside, we have a very controlled environment. You can set the lights and you never have to change the lights. If it was a cloudy day, sometimes the light would change on us. It's a pretty sunny day today, but also it forces you to get your settings right, because if it was too bright, if we didn't have this ND filter, I was taking some photos yesterday and I was amazed that because I was trying to shoot with that lower f-stop, but I was amazed that it was just too bright, too overexposed. So I went ahead and put that ND filter on, and that changed it up. But then also, in real bright settings, I had to really crank that. I really had to raise my f-stop and, you know, make my aperture narrower, let in less light in order to get a well-exposed shot. So that stuff matters. We got our ND filter on because we're shooting in bright sunlight. So this is a 2 to 5 stop ND filter. It's pretty top of the line one, but a problem I heard with those is that with some cheaper brands or something, or you get some vignetting when you go up to the highest stop on it, when you want the most amount of sun shades. It kind of makes something on the corners, darkens it or something, so not the best. So we went with this higher end one. It's 200 something bucks, something like that, but you can pick that up. We have a link to that below as well if you want. Make sure you get the right size. Just check. You can check a salesman if you're going through B&H Video, or you know, just you can look it up online too. But this one was for this lens, the Sigma 24 to 70 millimeter. It took the 82 millimeters, so that's a wider ND filter right there. So the 82 millimeters thread. We got our telescope lens, which we'll show you here in a second, has a 77 millimeter thread, and some of them go smaller, so you just want to make sure you have the right one. You can also pick up adapters. I have not used those yet, but we'll have links to those below as well if you want to check those out. But those adapters are like step-ups, and you can attach it, and then you can put in any size ND filter and save yourself money by not having to invest in one of every size for every single lens that you end up having. If you're shooting a vlog or some, you know, a content piece from an office or your living room or something like that, you got control of your lighting, and we'll talk about interior lighting when we get back inside. But right now, we're learning our gear outside because it challenges us and it forces us to get to know our camera better and get to know our lenses and get to know the capabilities, which if you're going to be shooting in different environments is very important to do. And oh yeah, we did get a Ronin. We do have a motorized gimbal for handheld shots that's going to stabilize it. But the problem was Brady bought all this gear expecting us to do everything right away, produce everything right away, learn everything within a day or two, and it's like, I need time. You need time to learn about your camera and learn the settings, which I haven't even gotten into. We're going to have to do a whole nother video about that. I've been doing some experiments with different picture profiles and such, but right now I'm just telling you about the physical gear that we got, not the internal software. So that'll be in another video. So please subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content in the future. You'll get notified when you sign into YouTube and we have new content out. Right now we're going to do a lens test. So I'm just going to do the same shot so that in post-production we can compare the lenses and, you know, see what they look like. This is the Sigma 24 70 millimeter at 24 millimeters, and again, this is the peak tripod with the ball joint panning without a fluid head. So much of it comes down to your control of your own body. So chances are, if you're getting this this tripod, you like to get outdoors, so you might be okay, you know, trying to stabilize, do a squat, and get your core. All right, that was that lens. So now let's just punch it into 70 millimeters right here. As you can see, we're a lot more zoomed in, so it is a lot more jittery. It's a lot more sensitive to my sudden movement. So I'm like walking around the tripod leg here, so I'm clearly unstable. But the fluid head is gonna be a lot more stable. Let me show you a pan with the fluid head so you see how that works. Remember, this is an old tripod, but it is a fluid head. Any fluid head is going to be this smooth. It's so much smoother than the ball joint. So that's something you want to keep in mind. And let me loosen it so we can do a tilt for you. So much smoother, right? Now we're doing the wide angle lens. It looks almost like it. It's also a Sigma lens. This was borrowed from my work. My boss, Justin Sardi, CEO of TubeSift, let me borrow this lens. We got it for work to shoot ads and blog posts, but we shoot in such a narrow room that you don't need to go this wide necessarily. So this one goes up to, this one's 14 to 24 millimeters, 128 DGDN Sigma lens is the wide version of it. The thing about this lens that's different is I can't get the ND filter on this because it's anamorphic. I'm taking off the back cap. Oh, normally I would have covered my sensor there on the camera. I got the other cap there somewhere. All right, so now I got my lens cap on. Whoa boy, so the issue here is it's super blown out footage. So I need to raise my f-stop by quite a bit. We have to go up Let's try 16, f16, rule of 16. Let's see what metering we're at. We're still pretty high. Might raise it a little more even. And I'm gonna bring that ISO down. So f22 is as high as we can go. My metering is still saying 0.3. Pretty good though, that's pretty close. I'm gonna see what it's like back at 16. Just because my meter, sorry, there we go. 16. There we go. So the thing about, with your f-stop being this high, your aperture is narrower, so it's letting in less light. And one thing that does, it brings more things into focus. So just about everything is in focus, I believe, around f-stop 16. Another thing, we are shooting in midday right now. It's like 1:30 or 2. So not the best light. Light gets better at sunset. We'll get some more better nature cinematography for you. Here is the pan with the Sigma 14 to 24. I am set at 24, but I'm gonna zoom out to 14. Oh, it's so hard because you don't want to move your feet. I guess I could do it this way. Not look in the viewfinder because that's gonna give me more range. Oh, that's the way to do it. It's just dancing. I'm sure I'm pretty jittery still. But anyway, as you can see, that's 14 millimeters right there. It's a lot wider. We can go in 16 millimeters, 18, 20, 22, 24, all the way back to the lowest millimeter range on that last lens that we showed you. But anyway, yeah, that's that lens, wide angle. Good for landscapes, landscape photography, cinematography. Sunsets, when you want to capture a lot of things. And if I was doing action sports too, like Brady was running around, he is running around out here, he's somewhere. Oh, yeah, he's looking for fossilized fish, rare species of fossilized fish, because this used to be an ancient lake bed, and he thinks he's discovered a new species in the hot spring in the last episode. If you missed it, there's a link to it right up there, or on this side, I don't know. Lose my bearings out here in the desert. Yeah, that's that lens. So I'm going to do the next lens for you, the telephoto lens, which I have not even used yet. We've been so busy just figuring out the settings, getting our f-stop right, getting our white balance. Oh, speaking of white balance, I did set the white balance. Bright daylight. Make sure you set your white balance. You know, daylight's 5600 Kelvin. When I set it, it told me a little brighter than that, 5800. I was at 6000 for a time. I think we're at 5800 right now. But you kind of got a few light, thin clouds over the sun, so it's adding that layer of kind of diffused light, but it's also like amplifying that bright light, especially we're in the middle of the day, so that sun is just shining down on us. Closer to sunset, that sun's going to be closer to us, and it'll be much more favorable light. You can get that good cinematic effect going. Anyway, next lens. So the thing about this telephoto lens is it is a big mama. Look at that beast. It is so heavy that you need to mount the lens itself onto the tripod, and the camera's going to hang off the back of the lens because it's so much lighter. So the good thing about this tripod that I forgot to mention is it has this little pocket groove for a little tool that you can use to take your camera plate off. So I'm going to put that in my pocket and put this lens down for a second, and we're going to swap this out. We'll do it as fast as we can. I'm excited. I haven't used this new lens yet. Maybe since it zooms in so much, I'll be able to find Brady out there somewhere looking for the fish fossils of the ancient species that was supposed to be extinct, but he thinks he's found a survivor of it in the lava tube hot spring. Crazy, crazy. Maybe he did, maybe he did. All right. I got the camera off. I'm gonna go ahead and put the strap on so I don't drop it on accident. I can be clumsy sometimes. Got my tool out. I am going to take the tripod plate off the bottom, and I'm going to attach the tripod plate to the bottom of the telephoto lens. We've got the plate secured on the lens. This is going to be the heaviest thing that this tripod has handled in its life since we bought it. I got that on. So one thing that this tripod did say is that it's not as sturdy with this bar, this pole raised as high as it was, so I'm going to lower it a little bit. Another thing you can do is hang something right here on this hook to help stabilize it, but I think we're going to be okay. It's going to be a little heavy, but I'm going to have both hands on it once we get the camera attached. So now I'm taking off the back. It is on. Take off my sensor cover, sensor lens. Oh, I have never put on a screwed a camera onto the lens. I've always screwed the lens onto the camera. Oh, that's a very, very satisfying feeling. Let's do that. Let's do that one more time. Oh yeah, I highly recommend doing that when you get your new lens. It's very, very satisfying. When you get your new telephoto lens. Taking the lens hood off. One thing I noticed on that Sigma 24 to 70 millimeter lens is I could not get the lens hood on it. I don't know what you call these things, but so I think the ND filter is meant to just be an ND filter. Where did I put that thing? Here it is. All right, ND filter. I don't know if you can see this. Real easy. This took me a while to figure out how to put it on, but you unscrew the cover right here. Make sure I don't drop it. It's very delicate because and it screws right onto the back. I watched a YouTube video about this, and it still took me forever to figure that out. That was that easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off that. Ooh. You got a little dust. That's one thing you want to do when you're shooting, especially outside or even in a dusty apartment, anywhere indoors where dust is floating around. Some dust on the lens. Silly, silly me, putting on the wrong size ND filter. I already told you that this one is a different lens, it takes a different thread size. So make sure you have the right ND filter. When I signed up for this, Brady said we're gonna lead by example. We're gonna show people by example. So if we fuck up, if we mess up, if we make mistakes, we're gonna show you how we learn from those mistakes. And that's kind of the selling point of the project. That's why I signed on. Still getting paid in juice boxes, but Brady's covering all the gas and the food. So far I'm here, I'm along for the ride. Let me get that other ND filter. Aha, that's another thing too. As you get better, the more you go out and shoot, even if you mess up and make mistakes, you'll get used to your gear. You'll find the best system for where to stash your gear, how to access it quickly, how to put it away quickly. If a thunderstorm came, I had to put this gear away quick, we'd know what to do. So that's another lesson too. See, we're learning as we go. That's how you do these things in life. All right, I got my ND filter on. I believe last time I had, on the other lens, I had it at the 5th stop. Remember, this is a 2 to 5 stop ND filter. Let's see what kind of image quality we get. Ooh, we are very zoomed in. Ooh, we are very zoomed in. It's also very dark, but that is because, remember, I was at f16, so I'm gonna drop my f-stop to maybe 5.6. My metering is at 0.0. We're gonna go ahead and zoom it in now. I'm just gonna zoom in the whole thing for you. Let me turn around. So we zoom in on these mountains over here. Here we go, we're at 70, we're zooming in. Oh, look at that mirage haze over there. That heat haze. It's very zoomed in, so for photography, this would be good if you're just taking still shots. Let's zoom in on that camera and see how close we can get, because this thing's super close. If Brady was there, I'd be able to zoom in on his booger picking, and I would be able to get a very good close-up of that booger coming out, and it's sticking to his finger when he tried to flick it. Yeah, that's the 200. All right, that was Billy. Billy the cameraman, coming at you with some great knowledge. And you know what? Billy does not have a background in filmmaking. He was actually an insurance claim transcriptionist. He knows some Spanish, but yeah, now Billy's learning camera on the go because I bought this gear for our little production company, you know, and we're gonna train people how to get started with creating their content, getting their word out, getting their message out there, and being their authentic self. So that was the tutorial. That's how we're using the camera gear to get started. And you know, look at this beautiful setting. I'm in western Utah, about to cross an ancient lake bed that's dried up out to California, but I'm gonna cross the Great Basin in between. So we'll be getting you a montage of that. We'll be giving you some more lessons from the road. So if you want to stay tuned and get some of this hot content, as hot as it is outside or hotter, you might as well go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click that one button and then you're gonna get notifications every time I release a new video. So hopefully you check that out. I got all kinds of great stuff coming for you. Like more of these. I think we call them mystics. Great place to practice tricks. We're gonna have a lot of fun, we're gonna play, we're gonna learn new things, and we're gonna create awesome content. So to the west we go. Thank you for watching.